Hello YouTube. Today we are having a tabletop review of an HK93 clone rifle. What makes this rifle different from other AR variants is its roller delayed action, which is something interesting enough to perk my attention. This rifle is the middle stepchild in the HK lineup, as opposed to the G3, which is more pertinent in the United States, or the world famous MP5. This is kind of the forgotten brother, but it's actually my personal favorite rifle. The reason I bring this rifle up is it's kind of unknown. I'm interested more into about the roller delayed blowback system. There's a very good video by Ian McKellum from Forgotten Weapons. I highly suggest you watch his video. I've seen it a few times and I enjoyed it a lot. So let's talk about why I chose this rifle over other rifle systems. First off, I'm kind of not a big fan of the AR system, so that kind of ruled out the AR. So my primary reason to buy this weapon system is I wanted a fun range gun. A gun I could take out to the range, have fun, shoot, and just enjoy. Century Arms is the cheapest of the C93 variants. It's technically a used gun, but it's of okay quality. Another one is the Vector Arms, which I think is now called Omega, which has a few nice features including the paddle release and the rail top. Zenith Arms is also producing or bringing in an HK93 variant. They are, however, more accurate to the HK brand, as they have a full push pin, the third push pin, that even HK's pre-band are not found. And that brings us to this cut rifle, the more advanced dynamic, or MAD 33 AR. This rifle is one of the more expensive options of the roller delayed lineup. The reason I bring it up is it has a few nice features. First of all, it has a bare warranty. It's a custom ordered rifle. You pick and choose what you want, and I chose this coloration and its configuration. The warranty is a lifetime warranty, with the caveat of being a 40,000 round lifetime warranty, which I think is kind of limited, but compared to 5 years or 3 years for other manufacturers, I'm definitely a buyer. One other neat feature this rifle comes with that kind of really puts this step above all the other HK93 clones. This magazine, which is a 40 round HK93 magazine, which is a Pro Mag 40 round magazine for the HK93 series, is in fact not a 40 round Pro Mag, but a 42 round AR magazine. That's because this rifle takes AR magazines. The difference between an AR magazine and HK93 series magazine is basically half an inch right there. Where the mag catch stops about there, the AR magazine just goes a little bit further. That's one key change that makes this rifle a little bit more worthwhile. This is also a cost-saving measure. I only have one AR and don't like ARs that much, but I do have a lot of AR magazines, kind of like we all do. HK mags can be expensive. You can get a used 40 round magazine in the $30 to $40 range, or if you want a 30 round one, that's even more expensive, ranging from $90 or so, brand new, and they are more rare. Some of you may know that Pro Mag is one of the few manufacturers that actually makes HK93 magazines for this rifle, but they are kind of hard to come by, although and their quality is, let's say, iffy at that. I'm not going to take this weapon apart or explain its functioning, but there's plenty of videos on that, and I'm just going to talk about my personal experience with this rifle. I've owned this rifle for about a year and a half now, and I got a good feel of how it works. I am about the 2,000 mark for rounds fired, and its break-in period is approximately 500, I'd say, and it does need a break-in period. Mostly the break-in period for my personal experience is this recoil spring, which is hella tough. So much so that my most common failure with this rifle was a failure to feed, in which the round would be pushed into the cartridge because it would hit with such force. More Advanced Dynamic recommends you shoot this rifle with full-powered 5.56 rounds. I have tested this with various 223 and 5.56, including Tula's, Brown, and Silver Bear. So far, I haven't noticed any key difference in ammunition choices I've picked. One thing to note is, due to the fluting in the system, it tends to mess up brass pretty well. And what I mean by pretty well, this is one casing taken from a NATO standard cartridge. I believe this one was federal, probably federal. Or, as you can tell, this cartridge looks more adapt to being a blender or something. It really blew out the casings. Surprisingly, I thought this weapon system would be a little more fair with the 5.56, given the casing is stronger, but apparently the extra charge in a 5.56 NATO over a 223 is enough to cause that kind of damage. My preferred ammo choice for this weapon system is M855 ball, and it shoots just fine with that and any other ammunition, should you be picky about that. Another issue with this weapon system, and let's talk about magazines. When I first got this rifle, I was in Arizona, so it's a legal weapon to carry, but I am from California originally. As such, I would bring this rifle in to California by putting on a grip wrap around here, and I changed out the standard flash suppressor with this muzzle comp, which is legal in the state of California, making this rifle a featureless system. Now, as I brought this rifle in, I had a few options for magazines. First, I had some state legal 10-round magazines, and I also had some surplus pre-banned 30-round GI magazine, as seen here, which I did not borrow from the United States Army. And I noticed a flaw when I was firing the system a few times in California. I would always have a failure to feed on the last round in both magazines, both the 10-round Fab Defense ones I had, which were brand new, and these older GI magazines. I came to the conclusion that this rifle doesn't like underpowered springs in its magazines. I came to this conclusion based on the fact that this is a military-style rifle, and it does in fact take 40-round standard magazines originally, and not chambered weapon system. As I am now fully in the gun sight state, I don't have to deal with these magazine issues. And with this GI magazine, I did replace the spring on it, and have not had any issues since. Have not tested the other one, but I'm sure that is corrected as well. Needless to say, if you have a weapon that fires and misses the last round, even on a larger capacity magazine, chances are the spring is a little weak. I do consider this weapon go-to-war ready. For me, though, as much as I love this rifle, and I shoot this rifle a lot, so much so that it is now ACOG worthy, and this is in effect an ACOG, which I bought this year just for this rifle. The one flaw, I think, is due to its age, it lacks some modern features such as a last round bolt hold open, which in my book is fairly critical. So much so, in fact, I've replaced most of my AK followers with a Weapon Tech last round bolt hold open just for that reason. Another flaw of this rifle is it's not a bullpup configuration. I consider a bullpup a standard for a 21st century modern rifle, especially given the fact that the Army spent a lot of money developing a new M855H1 round, which is of better quality. The problem wouldn't have been an issue to begin with had they chosen a longer barrel, such as a 20-inch barrel, which is the intended barrel length for the 5.56 NATO. Given the wars we are now currently running, where long distance and close quarters is very important, a bullpup design is more relevant in today's. This is an awesome rifle overall, and definitely worth additional costs. It is a 5.56 rifle I shoot the most, about 90% of the time I'd say, if I'm shooting 5.56. I've stated pretty much why I got this more advanced dynamic 5.56. They do have the full lineup, including G3s and MP5s. I can't talk too much about the other rifles. Based on the quality of this rifle itself, I feel they're more than substantial, given that PTR is a big leader in the G3 market, and there's a lot of MP5 clones. Your options are quite plentiful. Another advantage of this rifle system is the magazines are now drop free. Paddle release comes right out. My favorite magazine, in nice and tight, comes right out. So if you are into a HK's weapon system, special roller blade blowback rifle, this would be a good option for you, and probably one of the better options in my humble opinion. I bought this rifle myself. I'm not being sponsored by anyone, just as a disclaimer. But I really wanted an awesome roller blade blowback rifle. And after much deliberation on my part, I came across this one and decided this was the best option. As I have stated, I chose this rifle exactly as how I wanted it. I like this foregrip. The slants I think are really cool. I like the foliage green color. And I chose a full-length buttstock. Only changes I made other than selecting the optic, of course, a sling mount. I chose a compensator, as I explained. I prefer it over the flashlight, it just looks better. And one kind of nitpicky thing about it is I replaced this with a rubber butt pad instead of standard plastic. Minor gripe, but it was an additional cost I didn't want to spend. Options for this rifle system. Although I have a pretty standard configuration, this is what I wanted. But there is options if you choose to. For the front rail, I don't know if they have tri-rails for G3Ks or 93 variants, but you could actually skip a whole rail system and instead go with key mod or M-lock style forearm. As I stated, it comes with the Picatinny rail top for optics. Advantage of the HK93 series is the recoil assembly is within the receiver, so you can have a fully collapsible stock like an MP5. If you want to, you could choose to have, I think it's Magpul, I believe, that makes these buffers that you could put any AR style stock you want on the system. Robert RTG also makes an aluminum housing for this rifle. With this aluminum housing, you could choose your own AR style trigger guard and an AR style pistol grip. If you choose all these options though, I think you're a total retard. Why would you want to retard this rifle with some AR disadvantages just to make it like an AR?
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
And when I mean AR, I mean an AR in every conceivable fashion, other than it's a roller blade blowback, and you have the one perk of the HK slap.
Neo, no one has ever done anything like this.
That's why it's going to work.
No more table! Where are you going, pal? Next time you have a chance to kill someone, don't hesitate.
Thanks for the advice.
If you want to make any mods to trigger housing, I highly recommend you do not do that. It might void your warranty. Plus, this weapon comes with an improved trigger job, estimated around 5.5 to 6 pounds. Awesome range rifle. I cannot speak highly enough of this weapon system. Lifetime warranty, great finish, awesome cool looks. And this rifle is built to higher quality standards. This is full auto ready. Should you have a sear, drop it in there and you're good to go. Thanks for watching.